Good evening, everyone. Um, I'm going to be on different topics because I've been off air for a little bit. My dry eye issue with the infection coming down into my cheek and my jaw, I think I've got that under control. Um, I still need to address it, but that's not going to be time consuming as it was. A few days ago, I went to the emergency room on my leg. That was a no go because of me and my temper due to the amount of pain I was feeling. I'd gone to this hospital that I've always had faith in. I had no reason not to have faith in them because they've always been there for me before. But with these new changes that have been taking place, not just here, but it's everywhere, due to healthcare bill, 500 billion cut for people who are on Medicare or retirement benefits. I'm seeing it in action. Um, I'd gone in and initially it was just for the inflammation to the whole side of my face. It actually did look like I had a soccer ball in my mouth um, from the curvature of my face. But back to the leg issue, all of a sudden, as I've said before, I've drawn direct correlation between the amount of time I spend sitting and whether this bad pain comes about because of it, and it does. So when I was there, it just I've been dealing with it for 3 weeks, and I'm not supposed to be in a manual wheelchair anymore. But the issue with the manual wheelchair, not just my arms, it was the nylon seat stretches over time, and I had been given, well, I hadn't been given, I was sold a reinforced cushion seat that had a 2x4 inside for the bottom, and it was just wide enough to reach the center of each circular tube on each side, and it would pop every now and then. As a result, it ended up ripping the seat a little bit, a small area, and since then that whole seam has come undone. So I've got curvature in my seat, and in a matter of minutes, my legs started to go into overdrive, and they wouldn't let me lay on the floor to stretch the muscles out. So I ended up having to go outside, but the security guard and the two people in the intake office said, yes, go out here to this picnic table at such and such place, and when they call you, we'll come out and get you. I come back in, and a volunteer worker asked me my name and said, yes, they'd called you. So I went ballistic. That's my fault. Um, but pain sometimes makes all of us look stupid. I make no excuses. That's what happened that day. Now, last night at 1:20, I got up and I can't hop, so I pivot on my one foot. Something popped in my knee. And since 1:20, I haven't been able to stand up on my leg. So now, to me, that's another given. I just have to adapt to this. I've got a transfer board I can use, I've picked up. And I'm fine with it in my head. I'm not fine with the pain. Nobody, I think, ever is. But I'll deal with it. Also, I've had some very intelligent messages that I have to really digest before I come on and make a video about it. And I also need to go to other websites to beef up what's been shared with me. And I don't need to do any research to know that what was sent to me is legit. I already know it myself anyway. No, I'm not a scientist, and no, I don't work for the oil companies, but I did work for Brown and Root for a time. I know the consistency of that gumbo clay, we called it, because when I was welding, sometimes I'd have to get it off of what I was trying to get to put a seal on, run a seam, or cut, whatever I was doing at the time. So yes, we do have the clay, which turns to a clay rock, clay stone, the sandstone, the limestone. Florida is on an average about 5 feet above sea level, just on an average, and it's the major state for beef. Also, it's mostly limestone substructure and very porous. Um, it's a aquifer and a purification of the groundwater. But if this crap hits it, then we're looking at Florida being uninhabitable. So before I get into a great deal of depth of this, I need to get real hardcore facts and all the links to be able to share this. But I'm going to do it in such a way as to not for it to be an incendiary type video. It's just going to be data. And you need to understand that it's just data. And keep your emotions out of it. Just have insight into what's going on in the many different areas that it's going to impact us. I think this is all part of the New World Order. They've been doing this maneuvering for the economic crash of our country. So just think about all of the industry that is suffering now. Can our nation afford it when so many are already receiving subsidy of one type or another? Like I say, I've gotten a lot of content of factual data, and I need to correlate it and get it in a point by point format to best present it. And it's gonna be a few videos. It ain't gonna be just one. There's a lot of material that I need to cover, but I need time to digest it. I need time to put it into perspective and how best to present it, as well as to go out and find the correlating links that support the information that I have as well as others have. I don't speculate. Anything I put on in my videos, it's fact. From a minimum of 3 resources. So I'll continue to uphold that standard. And this is just a heads up that this is going to be coming. Somebody's got to do it, and I'm in a position to do it. So I'll take that, and I'll go with it. Don't be concerned about my health. It's what it is. There's nothing I can do to change it. I'm not going to be able to get any help, like I say, because of the new healthcare bill. But I will try one other place for a specialist. And if that doesn't work, I'll deal with what I have to deal with. There's also one other, I'm going to just throw one thing in here. Do a Google search on Baltic Dry Index. It's a direct reflection upon the economies of not just our nation, but all nations. And again, it gets back to the economic crisis, because the Baltic Dry Index is about shipping. And when you have a bunch of ships sitting idle, means nobody's buying any product. It means factories are going to be closing. When I was trucking, after I did my bit welding, after I first got out and decided, no, I don't want to come home every night and blow that black soot out of my nose. I know it's disgusting, but you need to know the reason why. I really enjoyed running a good bead and having an x-ray confirm that it is stronger than the surrounding material. I took pride. I always take pride in my workmanship. If I'm not going to do it right, I won't do it at all. But check out the Baltic Dry Index. And also, again, I want to say check out the series Century of Self. It's people that were directly involved with this. This is not some third